Welcome back. We continue with examples on equation of a circle. And in this example, we're going to look at an expanded form of the equation of a circle. So we have an equation of a circle, this one, and the center is AB and the radius is R. So we find the center AB and the radius R. Now, if you compare this kind of equation and this kind of equation, now you have done in example 2, you realize that this is an expanded form of this kind of an equation. So we need to expand the general equation so that we are able to compare with the expanded equation. So we expand this part. It will be x squared minus 2ax plus a squared. Then we expand this. Then we have y squared minus 2by plus b squared is equals to r squared. Then we reorganize x squared minus 2ax plus y squared minus 2by, and I take a plus b squared minus r squared is equals to 0. Then the equation given is x squared minus 6x plus y squared plus 4y minus 3 is equals to 0. Then we compare coefficients of x. Having written it like that, now you can see the coefficients of x squared are the same, the coefficients of y squared are the same. So we now compare the coefficients of x. The coefficient of x in this case is minus 2a, and the coefficients of x in this case is minus 6. So coefficients of x, minus 2a, coefficients of x here, minus 6. So we get that a is 3, alright? Then we also compare the coefficients of y, in this case, minus 2b, and in this case is 4. Coefficients of y minus 2b, coefficients of y 4. So that means b is negative 2. So the center of the circle A, B will be 3, negative 2. That becomes the center of the circle. Alright, now we look at the constant part. This part and this part. So we will see that the constant part a squared plus b squared minus r squared is equals to negative 3. Now, we already have a and b. So we substitute, which we get 3 squared plus minus 2 squared minus r squared equals minus 3. And we'll get that you take the whole of this part, take to the other side, you'll get that minus r squared is minus 13 minus 3, which is negative 16. So this and this work out, and therefore you have r squared is 16, and therefore r is 4. R squared is 16, and therefore r is 4 because it's the square root of 16. Now the square root of 16 is positive 4 or negative 4, but because we are dealing with length, we take positive 4. So the center of the circle is 3, negative 2, and the radius is 4. Alright? Alright, so this is what we have done. We've been able to rewrite the expanded form compared with the equation given. And by comparison, you get the values of a and b, and that is the center. And then you compare the constant part, and be able to find r after substituting the values of a and b that you have found, and gotten the square root of 16 is 4. So the center is 3, negative 2, and the radius is 4. Now that is alternative 1. We have alternative 2 of the same equation. Now alternative 2 is the method by completing the square. So you take the equation x squared minus 6x plus y squared plus 4y is equals to 3. I will take this portion first. Completing the square method, we want to create part C, and we know that part C is created by C b over 2 squared. Right? So that now, in this case, x squared minus 6x plus, we have created a C which is minus 6 over 2 squared. So you use b, which in this case is negative 6, divide by 2 to create the part C. The same case, you take y squared plus 4y, you create a C by taking b over 2, then square. And therefore, this is a method by completing the square. Having done that, then remember, once it reaches there, then this becomes x. You take the one inside. Minus 6 over 2 is minus 3, so becomes minus 3 squared. And this one completed becomes y. The one inside here now, which is our C, is 2 squared. So you have now completed the square. So going back to the example, so I've taken the first part, completed the square, the second part completed the square. Now, this part was not part of the equation. So what I have done on the left-hand side, I must also do on the right-hand side. So if I have added negative 6 over 2 squared, I must also add it on the right-hand side. If I have added 4 over 2 on this side, which was not there, then I must also 4 over 2 squared, then I must also add it on the other side. That is what we say, apply the left-hand side rule is equals to the right-hand side rule. Alright, so the whole of this is what we have said is x minus 3 squared. And the whole of this is what we have said is y plus 2 squared. Now, this side is minus 6 over 2 is negative. 3 squared is 9. 4 over 2 is 2 squared is 4. So 3 plus 9 plus 4. So what do we have? Now we have rewritten in the general equation x minus a squared plus b minus y minus b squared is equals to l squared. Then again you compare. So this is negative, this is 3, this is a. So a is 3. And here we have b minus b is 2. So b is negative 2. Alright? Notice minus a is equals to minus 3. So a is 3. Minus b is positive 2. So b is negative 2. So the center is 3, negative 2. So we have compared with the other equation. Then the radius, if r squared is 16, then the radius is the square root of 16, which is 4. So we have that method of completing the square, and I want you to look at it, follow it, and see how it works. The secret here is, first of all, know how to complete the square.